and I think it would be difficult for black to hold it together. Much easier for me to play than for him. So we're cashing our chips in here. Maybe we have better, though. We have to give thought to d5, creating a monstrous passed pawn. d5, bishop takes b4, d6, threatening d7. And then he has to play something like rook d8, and then rook takes a6. I'm a little concerned there that maybe it's not that simple. This looks pretty clear to me. We improve our king and we should have a huge edge. Maybe he can make a draw somehow. But I don't see how he can, do anything. He's got a very weak pawn on e4. It looks like a Rubinstein rook ending. Though it could become an issue of whether probably going to have to, actually, no, this looks good. So we went back with bishop g7, and that's fine with us. We're not in any hurry here. His king is cut off. We have a protected passed pawn. He's basically paralyzed. So, I'm going to play like b3, get it off the dark square very carefully, and then go about my business, maybe f3. And eventually to promote the d-pawn with something like bishop c5, d5, e4, king e4, and very unpleasant for black. Okay, f6 now, and this is critical. I see what he's trying to do. Is there anything I can do? Bishop c7. King f7 now. d5, d6. I'm a little bit concerned that I'm misplaying this. I should play f3 straight away. I have a very strong passed pawn, but I'm not sure it's really enough. Let's see, d5. We have to be accurate here. Bishop on c7 controlling a lot of key squares. We also have rook e6, which is going to be huge. But again, I think the bishop best belongs on c5. Now here, rook check was the plan. And maybe I made a boo-boo. But I don't think so. Rook takes, king takes check, king up, rook takes, rook g6, or rook h7. I think he does have counterplay there. What is up with this ending? If bishop b6, rook e8, bishop b6, rook e8, or bishop a5 was another idea. Maybe bishop a5 is necessary here. Wasn't my original plan, but I think this will do. Because of a6, it's a really ugly square for the bishop, but it should be good enough. He can't really afford to move anything here. So he's kind of in Zugzwang. I mean, the plan is, I guess, b3, followed by f3. I could just think about, actually, bishop b6 there. Then he goes back to a8. Now f3. And I just improved the king. So that's the key idea. Threatening king e4, king f5, which should be basically decisive, even if he trades rooks. You can flirt with bishop to b6. I'm going to go with king e4, let him trade rooks if he wants. That's fine. And even king f5 here looks brutal. Yeah. I don't think he can stop this. Toodles is one. King g6. Bishop f8. King takes f6. His pawn is too slow. What a game, folks. Threatening e7. He's got to take a5. He doesn't do it. Is this a problem? Do we have a problem here? I don't think so. We might have a problem with time, though. Bishop h6, king g6. Luckily, we have e4 at the end. It was a good game. It was a really intense sort of positional struggle. Okay, Kamala put up good resistance. Yeah, Karpovian. Thank you. Sleek Karpov has a heavy influence on me. Pretty minimalistic approach from beginning to end. But when you reach a certain level, you don't really get a lot of rope. So you learn to play for minimal edges, and that's one of the better games I think I've played in the 15-minute here. At least I didn't blunder mate. It was similar to the game yesterday, except I didn't. I guess the guy where I played really well, and then I hung mate in one. Up a piece and an ending. so silly. We're edging our rating up. I'd like to get over 2200. Might be in good form today. I am better than yesterday, but blitz is blitz. We try to get a blitz game or two. Okay, this guy, he's higher rated than me. Don't know much about him. He's very, very solid. Extremely solid, to the point of boredom. So, let's see. And seems pretty well prepared, theoretically. Kind of classical player. Bishop b4 check. I've got to remember that this is 15-minute chess. 5-minute chess. Not 15. So let's just play fast. I normally play bishop a6, but I think I've played it against this guy before, and I think he's kind of prepared now. This is an old line. Knight c3, I guess. He can take on f6. This could transpose actually to a knight a6 line of there's this Russian Grandmaster Konstantin Chernyshov, and he plays like the Queen's Indian normally with knight a6. I think on move 8 or move 7. I guess you can do both, depending on whether white castles or not. And now, it's interesting. I've never played this line before. It's a strange time to try new things, I guess. But trading pieces here seems awfully fundamental. It's not the most ambitious, perhaps. But anyway, Chernyshov, if you like the Queen's Indian with knight a6, I guess it's the guy to check out. c5 is an idea, but not in this position. And the other thing is that he's threatening, like, maybe knight takes c3. Not knight g5, because I can take. Knight g5, queen takes g5 is okay for black. There's no tricks with that. I think now c5 is interesting. We need to get the knight in the game. I mean, there's really no question. So, however, we have to do it. It's a little creaky on the queen side. I mean, our queen side looks a little funky with a5, and I think that means the white is better. But I guess it's our first time playing this line with bishop e7 and knight a6. I've been reading this old Queen's Indian book I have by F.M. Geller. It's actually in Russian. Sometimes when I don't have what else to do, and I'm sure this sort of position is in there. But again, I can't pronounce this guy's name. Erko Liaconi plays a super classical, like solid style. He makes me look like a complete wild man. So, if anything, he's been a little on the passive side in my games. I kind of take a lot of liberties against him. I suppose I might not normally do that against other players. Now, should I play knight c7 here at some point? I feel that I should develop maybe d6. d6 is a bit passive. Rook c8 even I could play. It seems funny to leave the c file at this point. d5, it's not really a threat, I guess. Feels really strange to play rook c8 with the a-pawn advanced here. He does this, but I don't understand. I can take and get my queen trapped or something like that. It's not that simple. Wow, I didn't really bank on this. Now I'm sorry I didn't leave the rook on a8. I could maybe play b5 around now. Perhaps not. Perhaps it wouldn't work anyway. So I thought he was hanging his e2 pawn, but it looks like my queen's quite a bit short of squares. Well, not completely. It doesn't. This guy isn't the kind of guy who like gambles, though. You know, just queen takes e2, queen b5, rook e1, queen b5. When my queen is almost trapped, but bishop f1, queen a4. It seems to get away. You know, that's the weird thing. I don't know. You know, am I getting my queen trapped? Queen takes, bishop f1, queen back somewhere. He has a lot of compensation, I guess. In any case, let's not gamble. I don't know. I don't know. You know, it's pretty weird. Knight f5 now. Okay. We have to play g6, I guess, and he gets this rolling center with e4. It's not the end of the world. I don't know why it's not the end of the world. It looks like the end of the world. But I have knight c7, knight b5 to d4. He has a huge time advantage now. I have a very good score against this guy. I guess I'm a little overconfident. I don't even know. He's beaten me a few times, but I've beaten him 5 times to 1. I mean, I'm pretty sure. I have a huge score. It has to be a pretty insane psychological edge. I beat him at least 3 to 1. And I mean over a lot more games than 4, but statistically a 3 to 1 advantage. Getting in trouble here, though. I have a bad game, and he played his normal classical style. b5 is interesting, but f4 is going to roll me off the board. So we need to think fast, and maybe this really extreme idea. He should play f4 probably and let me take on c3. Because if he takes an e5, I have kind of a blockade, yeah. But I have to say that I am quite happy to get the queens off the board here. Maybe f6. I'm going to hang the b6 pawn. Can't have that. So it's an ugly position for black. Probably lost strategically. But I'm not going to panic. We're a good defender. Rook d8, knight e8